Team Hood shirts are back with a brand new look. You can get yourself the full design or the pocket design, whatever you prefer. There's also many different colors available, and for the first time ever we have sleeve designs. That's right, you can grab yourself a Team Hood sweater with a sleeve design. This is something I've never done before, so I do hope that you guys enjoy this. This is a limited campaign though, these shirts are only available until the 16th of March, so you have just over 2 weeks to grab one. Link is on screen and in the description. How's it going, everybody? It's me, the most handsome PokeTuber, back at it again with the original content. Today, I'm going to be talking with you guys about my favorite Pokemon of every type. This is right after making my top 10 favorite Pokemon video, I realized a lot of the Pokemon were the same types. I think there was like 4 ghost types on that list, and then there was like a few dark types. So I figured, just so you guys get a better understanding of, I guess, of the different types of Pokemon I like, I would make a video, sharing my favorite one of every single type. But here's the fun part, you guys are going to get involved too. So, the idea for this video came from a template. There's this website that gives you a template, basically. You literally, all you have to do is type in the Pokemon's name and it will put the image on there for you. You don't have to do any sort of like photoshopping or anything. No work from you. You literally just need to type in your favorite Pokemon of that type's name. I'm going to show an example on screen of the of what the template will look like when it is filled in. But yeah, the link to this website is going to be in the description. It's cpokemon.com/typos. I think it's a Spanish website, but it's got an English template. So yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and use this template and tweet out your favorite Pokemon of every type, this is how I'm getting you guys involved. I want to see what your favorite Pokemon of every type is, because it's just always really cool, like seeing everybody's different opinion. I did do this before, some point last year or some point during Sun and Moon's release, but my mind has changed obviously since then, and I figured I would just make a video about it just to get this website out there more. And I think it would just be, I just think it would be a super cool little community thing for us to do. I think there should probably be a hashtag that I should make to go through. Do hashtag Hood Favorite. I'm not planning on featuring this in a video or anything. It's just, if you do hashtag Hood Favorite and post your image on Twitter, I can scroll through and have a look. And other people can scroll through and be like, oh my god, wow, this person has the same taste of Pokemon as I do, So yeah, I have a filled out template already, ready to go. I'm gonna pop it up on screen throughout the video. I'm not gonna spoil anything until, I talk about the Pokemon though. But yeah, your favorite Pokemon of every type. Now, there's 2 ways you can do this. So Scrafty is a dark fighting type, but for this video, I put him under my favorite fighting type. For example, that's obviously the first one, Scrafty. Now, that's the way I've done it. I've just done it as in, like, yes, Scrafty's my favorite out of the fighting type Pokemon, but you could make yourself very strict and make it so the primary type is the one that you're going off of. So in that case, Scrafty would have to be, if Scrafty's your favorite dark type, it would have to be under the dark category and not under the fighting category. Personally, I didn't really bother with that too much. I just chose my favorite ones out of every type. I just figured I'd mention that because that is an alternative way I was thinking about going about this. Anyways, it'd be super cool to see you guys get involved with this. And also, before the video properly 100% starts, I'm selling shirts, Team Hood shirts. Please buy one. These shirts come in different colors. I'm also doing hoodies, long sleeve shirts. There's actually shirt designs with sleeve designs on them. I don't actually have one in person to show you, but I can put images on screen. We've got a lot of variety here, okay? So check out the link in the description. The link to the store will be on screen, of course, as well. Please, if you want to support me, a lot of you guys do come to me and be like, Callum, how can I support you? You don't have a Patreon. Buy my shirts. Thank you guys for listening. So, your favorite Pokemon of each type. So I'm going to go over each type and try and briefly talk about why I like this Pokemon and why it's my favorite. So, of course, I already spoiled that Scrafty was on there. Scrafty is under my favorite fighting type. Shaman Sky is my favorite grass type. Big surprise. If you guys recently watched my top 10 favorite Pokemon video, which if you haven't, I will You can go check that out, please. I might forget to leave it in the description. There's so much stuff I need to link in the description. But hey ho, Shaman Sky was number 1 on my top 10 favorite Pokemon list. Shaman's been my favorite Pokemon for the longest time, so of course Shaman's gonna be number 1. But I will say there is a lot of grass types that I really love. I love Maractus. I do also love Lurantis a lot. Whimsicott's amazing, Lilligant's amazing, Roserade's amazing. When I say grass is my favorite type, it's because grass genuinely has the most Pokemon that I like from it. I love Shiftry as well. It's just, you know, Shaman Sky is just the cream of the crop. But there are a lot of grass types I love. Serena, oh boy, she thick. So yeah, without a doubt, Shaman's number 1. So next up is the fire type. My favorite fire type personally, if you watched my video of top 10 favorite Pokemon, you already know it's the homie Torracat. But again, there's a lot of fire types that I do like a lot. I love Marowak. I love Charizard, Charmeleon, Quilava. Braixen's really great too. There's quite a few fire types that I really enjoy. It's just Torracat's the best. Alright, now we're finally getting into uncharted territory. Water. There wasn't actually a water type on my top 10 favorite Pokemon list, but looking at all the water types, I don't really like that many water types that much, considering how many there are. But I will say my all-time favorite water type is definitely Gastrodon. I mean, as much as I love Vaporeon and Gyarados, and I'm looking at a list of water types right now. Palkia's cool. You know, it's not that I hate water types. Toxapex is nice. It's just none of them really ever stand out to me as, like, you know, that's in my top 10. Gastrodon, if I had to make a top 15 favorite Pokemon, I think Gastrodon would be in there. So yeah, Gastrodon's my favorite water type, and to be honest, I guess I could have done this differently technically, because there's not that many ground Pokemon that I like as well, so I probably could have put Gastrodon in the ground category and had a different water type be there, but honestly, I think I like the ground type in the ground. I think I like the Pokemon I have in my ground category quite a lot already. So next up is the normal type. I am a big fan of Porygon 2. I've always been a big fan of Porygon 2. I like him a lot more than Porygon Z. That's why I'm thankful Porygon Z exists. It allows me to run Eviolite Porygon 2. I think the only other contender for normal type for me really was Mega Lopunny. But besides that, there's not really that many normal types that I'm super attached to. But you know, with Mega Lopunny, it's I just prefer Porygon 2. He's just been there for forever. It's not to say I hate all the other normal types. Heliolisk, oh man, I love Heliolisk as well. That's definitely another contender. But then I kind of see Heliolisk as more of an electric type than anything. Regardless, speaking of electric, I did actually go ahead and put Plusle as my favorite electric type. It just is. As much as I adore, there's actually so many electric types that I like, which is you guys are gonna see soon. I love Alolan Raichu, Magneton, Zapdos, Rotom forms are amazing. Zebstrika's really cool. Electros, Zekrom. I think my second favorite type would probably wound up being electric. Xurkitree is amazing. Tapu Koko. There's so many good electric type Pokemon. I think there's more good electric type Pokemon than there is bad, at least in terms of design. The only bad electric type Pokemon design is Minun. So yeah, I'm a big fan of electric types, but Plusle's just my favorite. I really don't know what it is. I've just got an attachment to the little guy. So for psychic type, I thought it was going to be super easy, but I actually like struggled to think of which one I was really like. I was like thinking like, which of these Pokemon am I attached to? Like, basically this image, I wanted it to be an image that when I looked at, it made me happy. Because all the Pokemon on my image, I'm looking at the complete image right now, all the Pokemon on there are so aesthetically pleasing to me because I know that I like them. For example, if I were to put Mewtwo on the Psychic one, yeah, I like Mewtwo, but he's not like my all-time favorite Psychic type. So I tried to make sure I got all of my all-time favorites on here, and for Psychic, I went with Uxie. Uxie was actually on my original top 10 list back in 2014 or 2015, whenever I made that video. And there is a lot of cool Psychic types out there, I will give you that, but I think Uxie is just the cutest. I don't know, it's a bulky little guy, he's really cool. Not too fond of the Psychic type in general, to be honest. Like there is a lot of cool Psychic type Pokemon, but I'm a bigger fan of Dark types. As I already said, Scrafty is my favorite fighting type. And now we're immediately on to Rock. Now, my favorite Rock type is actually Also a grass type. Credilli. I'm pretty sure Credilli is the only rock grass type. And it's not because it's a grass type that I like it. It's just, I looked at the rock typing the other day when I was making up this image, and there's not that many rock types I really like at all. I mean, Tyranitar is a beast. Like, Tyranitar, I just like him because he's so strong. But besides that, it's like, Diance's cool, I guess. Lycanroc is okay. Rampardos is cool. I love Aeron as well, but in the end, I just ended up realizing that Credilli is my favorite. Credilli's, whenever I see Credilli in battle, I'm like, oh my god, I love Credilli. It's, you know, it's just a cool fossil. Very, very, very underrated. So as I mentioned before, there's not actually that many ground types that I enjoy much. You know, when you think of ground type, you think of Landorus, and then you kind of just feel sick because he's just ridiculous as a Pokemon. I love Excadrill. Crocodile's great. You know, Garchomp is, you know, Garchomp is Garchomp. Groudon is Groudon. But my all-time favorite ground type is Gligar. I love Gliscor, but I think Gligar, I just like how cheeky he is. I feel really nostalgic when I look at Gligar because I used to use an Eevee-like Gligar a lot when I was battling on Pokemon Showdown when I was a kid. And, you know, I just loved those times, and I just loved how fat he was, considering he was like this small, tiny flying scorpion. He puts in work. So next up is a little bit cheating, but my favorite flying type is Zapdos. I mean, in my defense, the flying type is kind of like the secondary type. There is only one pure flying type Pokemon, being Tornadus. So, I mean, I guess unless you want to include Arceus flying. There, you know, so in my defense, regardless of what my choice here was, I was choosing another, you know, a Pokemon that had another type. Most of them are normal flying, but still, yeah, Zapdos is my favorite flying type. I totally would put him in my favorite electric type category, but, you know, he's not my favorite electric type, plus a Liz. I just love Zapdos mainly because of Pokemon Go now. He's always been my favorite bird of the three, but, you know, represent Team Instinct. Gotta have Zapdos on there somewhere. So next up is Bug, and I think there's only two bug types that I really like that stand out to me. That is Scizor and Ribombee. And I think I just slightly like Ribombee a bit more. As cool as Scizor is, Ribombee just caught me off guard. Like, I didn't expect it to be as powerful as it is. I think Ribombee is actually the fastest Alolan Pokemon, barring legendaries. And that's just, you know, that itself is pretty cool, I guess. I remember just using it in my playthrough of Pokemon Sun and Moon, and it was just an absolute powerhouse. It's got this really cool move, Pollen Puff. If you use it against your opponent, it does damage. If you use it on your ally, it heals them. I think that's super cool, and I wish, you know, it got more use, but unfortunately it doesn't. And also Totem Ribombee from Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon completely just kicked my ass, and I have nothing but respect for it. That Pelipper combination, man, too dirty, too dirty. So next up might be a bit of an obvious one, but my favorite poison type is indeed Salandit. There's not really much to say here besides Salandit's a cool bandit lizard. Please give him a male evolution. My favorite dark type is Murkrow. If you've seen my top 10 favorite Pokemon list, then this won't be a surprise, honestly. Obviously, if I was going based off their primary types, Scrafty would be my favorite dark type. But because it's not, Murkrow is my favorite dark type. My favorite ghost type is Sableye. I guess he could technically also go under my favorite dark type, and then the ghost type could go to somebody else, but hey ho, this is what I'm feeling. For those that haven't seen my top 10 favorite Pokemon video, I skipped over them kind of because I already explained why I like them so much in that video, so you should definitely check that out if you haven't. Regardless, favorite ice type. This is another type that wasn't touched in my top 10 favorite Pokemon video. Kyurem Black. I know Kyurem Black is more dragon-y than anything, and he should technically also be dragon. He's technically three types: dragon, electric, ice. But he's my favorite ice type because I mean, he is an over-the-top designed Pokemon, but he's got the best shiny in the game, hands down, in my opinion. Next to Mawile, obviously. Speaking of next to Mawile, Mawile is literally next. Mega Mawile is my favorite steel type. Also, back on the ice type, can we get Ice Punch for Kyurem Black? Can we get justice for Kyurem Black? Why does he not learn Ice Punch? He's got two massive icy fists. Why can they not punch? But yeah, Mega Mawile, it's Mega Mawile is like my second favorite Pokemon, so it being my second steel type, there was not really much contest at all. Although there is a lot of cool steel types, I will admit. Like I said, Scizor, Ferrothorn's really cool. I love Steelix. Favorite dragon type? This one was a little tricky because I'm not really attached to any of the dragons. So this is probably the type that I actually have, I guess, the least. I guess I like the least. But my favorite dragon type is Rayquaza. It was so tight. It was Rayquaza or Goodra, and I just couldn't pick. I ended up going with Rayquaza because I think I've liked him more. Goodra is cool, but Rayquaza was like my first level 100 Pokemon, so he's always got a very special place in my heart. And last, but certainly not least, my favorite fairy type, I mentioned him earlier in this video, Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko, again, could have been in the electric slot, but I just like Plusle slightly more. But when it comes to the fairy types, the only other fairy types that I really like that much besides Mawile is Gardevoir. You know, there's not really that many fairy types that I like. I mean, Sylveon's cool, I guess, but Tapu Koko is just my all-time favorite fairy. He's just... I'm looking at this now, and there's a lot of legendaries on here. There's four legendaries? Five legendaries? When I was growing up, I was always a big hipster. I'm like, I don't like legendaries at all. But it turns out I'm actually quite a sucker for them. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought it'd be cool to go over all of my favorite Pokemon of each type. Again, it would be cool to see your favorite Pokemon of every type. A link to this page where you can, you know, do this for yourself will be in the description. Tweet it out with hashtag HoodFavorite, and I will go through the hashtag and look at what you guys have done. Thanks so much for watching, and buy my shirts.